This is my third time recording this video. Each time I just stopped because I'm like, I don't like the way this is turning out. I find myself sounding kind of resentful about a lot of things that have been going on behind the scenes. So this is me. I'm shooting from the hip. I'm going to start talking. I'm going to stay on course. But yes, this is the major announcement I was talking about. This is a major thing going on for the channel and the brand in 2025. But in the year 2025, in January 2025, Sooplex will no longer only be a professional wrestling content creator. And for some of you who may watch me on TikTok and Instagram, you kind of already know this because I already make movie reviews on Instagram. I already make movie content loosely on TikTok. I just don't do any of that stuff over here. I don't do any of that stuff over here. This is all wrestling all the time for Sooplex. And all wrestling all the time has been Sooplex, Tyler Coon Williams, and Tyler Williams for the last 10 years. I've been doing content creation technically for 13 years. I started doing this in 2011 when I was 13, I think. 13, 14 years old is when I started doing this. And I only started doing this because I had a camera and I could. I didn't want to be the next YouTuber. I didn't want to be the next mind you, being the YouTuber at the time in 2011 was like top 1%. You were an anomaly if you were like over 1 million subscribers. Now, Mr. Beast has over 100 million subscribers and so many people have reached this milestone and go play buttons just go out like candy now. And so many people do this, but back in the day it was not an easy achievement. It still isn't now, but back in the day I just created YouTube videos because I could. I had no pressure and no fans. I was only creating videos because I could and because I thought it was fun. In 2012 to 2014 I was creating gaming videos. I had a friend at the time and we were very passionate about playing video games and recording it and uploading it. And we kind of made a pact like we're going to be YouTubers and streamers. That streaming wasn't a thing, but we're going to be YouTubers when we get older. And we're going to be like top YouTubers and shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, we're going to do that. And we're not friends anymore, but kind of just stuck to that. Like, yeah, I kind of want to do this. This is what I want to do. I love doing it. I love doing it when I was younger and I still love doing it now. And in 2015, I didn't really care that I wasn't getting views. I had like 50 views, if I'm lucky, 100. I was getting no views at the time, but I didn't care. I was just creating videos because I loved them and I thought it was fun. And at the time in 2015, I was a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since 2005. And I said, why not just start talking about wrestling on YouTube? I already know how to make videos. I already know how to edit. I might as well just start talking about wrestling. And in 2015, I started making some wrestling videos on my original channel, and that's when I created a new channel called Tyler Williams, and I started making my wrestling content over there and kept my first channel as like kind of gaming, and I fell off that channel like a year later, but Tyler Williams' channel became wrestling, and in 2015, later in the year, I created a Facebook group and I found a bunch of friends. And through that group, we made like an e-fed and I started doing mixing gaming and wrestling together. If you go back to the oldest videos on this channel, you'll find videos called AWC. It's literally like me and a group of friends just pretending to be wrestlers and playing video games and shit. It was fun. I didn't care about the views again. I was just having fun. 2022, mainly AEW. But then the bloodline started popping off with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and all this stuff. And I was making TikToks and doing skits. And that was blowing up. And I said, oh, I guess maybe I should start talking about WWE more. And then in 2023, I was blowing up on Instagram too. And I had TikTok and YouTube. And I was rocking and rolling, making wrestling content, long form and short form. You couldn't tell me nothing. And by this point, I was doing 10,000 plus views on YouTube, and I was doing upwards of 100,000 to 1,000,000 views on Instagram almost all the time, and 10 to 100,000 on TikTok. I was hitting a fucking stride. I'm like, oh my god, you can't fucking stop me. I was having fun, and I'm getting views, and I'm getting fans, and I'm making money. Oh, this is the best. I love this. I love this. And then I said, you know what? While I'm doing all this, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. But you want to know what else I enjoy? I enjoy movies. And I want to take a risk. And I want to start talking about movies on this channel. And I did it very little. But when, like, you know, big mainstream movies came out, I started talking about it on TikTok. And my first big review was of Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. We all know how that ended for Jonathan Majors. But that was my very first like major review. And it did like 100,000 views. And I was floored. Because that was the first video, non-wrestling related, that ever did over 100K. And I'm like, I might have a future in talking about movies. I don't really know what I'm talking about, for real, but let's talk about movies more. And I was talking about movies here and there on TikTok. I didn't talk about it on YouTube, didn't talk about it on Instagram, just kind of kept it to TikTok. And then, like, you know, I was going to screenings. I went to, like, some exclusive parties and whatnot. I was having fucking fun with movies and shit, bro. I'm like, dude, I could really start doing something with this. And I'm not going to leave wrestling, but I can do both. And then the writer strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike hit in like June 2023, and I had to stop talking about movies. I could have kept talking on about them, but it'd have been wrong too. So I stopped, and I was so disappointed, and I was very upset because I was genuinely feeling so happy and ecstatic about talking about this new venture and seeing how fast I was growing with it and just being able to do something else for once that wasn't just wrestling. And I feel like it just kind of got taken away from me and I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, now I got to stop. And I feel like during that period of time where I didn't do something else, I felt cornered. And I'm like, okay, well, now I got to keep talking about wrestling, which I enjoy doing, but I was also enjoying doing this other thing too. And now I have to stop. And then by November 2023, the strike ended and I was ready to go back to talking about movies too. But then CM Punk came back to WWE. And I'm like, okay, well, that's got to wait. We got to talk about wrestling. And I was excited and everything was going on and we're still talking about it and everything. Then we got to January 2024. And then the hype wore down. And then Burnout started to settle in for me. And I was like, I'm not having as much fun doing content right now. And I don't really know what the problem is because I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. So why am I not having fun doing this right now? I would literally wake up, and it still happens. Wake up, have a video idea ready to shoot, and I can't. I mean, I physically I can, but I mentally I can't. I can't. I can't. But I said, you know what? We got to suck it up, and we got to keep going because it's Rumble around the corner. You know that's your favorite time of the year is the Royal Rumble. We got to keep going. So I kept going, and then I said, you know what? After Rumble, we're going to take things slow. We're going to take a break, tiny little break, and just try to circle back into wrestling again a little bit later on. But then The Rock became majorly involved with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And I said, well, this is the hottest wrestling's ever been. I can't stop now. And then I gained access to being media at WrestleMania. And I got a brand deal when I was able to take my family to WrestleMania. I said, well, I can't stop now. Am I enjoying this as much as I used to? Not really, but I can't stop. I can't stop. This is the high point for me. Like, there's so many opportunities coming my way. I can't stop right now. And movies, as much as I love it, that's got to wait. That's got to wait until all this is over. And I said, once this is over, we'll start talking about that again. WrestleMania comes and goes, and my WrestleMania 41 videos were super viral. You guys all seen the John Cena video. 21 million views on Instagram, 4 million views on TikTok, 100,000 views on YouTube, and I had several other views, like 6, 7, 9. I think 9 other videos across TikTok and YouTube did 500,000 to over 1 million views. 9. during WrestleMania weekend. I said, yeah, I should stop, but I can't. I have to keep going. And movies has to wait until this subsides. And I kept going, and wrestling, I was still enjoying it, but at the same time, I was like, damn, this is not fun, but I gotta keep going. And then I got to May, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not enjoying this. I'm not enjoying this. And I took most of May, and I was experimenting. If you guys remember, May 2024 was a very interesting month because I was reacting to a lot more videos. I was experimenting with being a bit more negative. And people were like, why are you shitting on AEW? Why are you shitting on WWE? And what you guys don't know is that a lot of that negativity that seeped into that month was because I was very frustrated with the fact that I almost felt like I have to keep talking about wrestling. Because I felt almost in the way I was forcing myself to talk about wrestling, my feelings towards wrestling was seeping into the videos. And that's when I realized that, and when some of you guys, thank you all, called me out on that, that's when I realized, all right, we gotta stop. You gotta slow down. By the time we got to June, I was just over it. I was over it. And as you guys may have noticed, by June and July and August, I was creating less and less and less and less wrestling content. Especially on YouTube, on here. You guys may notice I uploaded 5 videos in June. I uploaded like 5 videos in July. I uploaded like 3 or 4 in August. And then I did like 3, really technically 1 video this month in September. And then the other 3 were podcast episodes. Because I got to a point where I'm so burnt out on wrestling and content. And I was like, but I love both. I love making content and I love making wrestling. So why am I burnt out on both? And then I came to the conclusion that I'm burnt out on them together. I'm not burnt out on creating content because I love making movie content. I'm literally doing a series on Instagram and TikTok where I'm watching one horror movie every single day and doing a review of it in the month of October. And I would not be doing that if I didn't still love making content. So I know I don't hate making content. And I've been watching wrestling so long, I don't think I could ever stop watching wrestling. And I still love watching, Raw and SmackDown, all that stuff. So it's not that. So why do I feel like I can't, I look at my phone and I don't want to make videos, and it's like, it's the fact that you have to make wrestling content. That's why you're burnt out. And that's why you can't. And that's why you're starting to resent. You're starting to resent both of them. Because in your head, you've made up this thing where I have to talk about wrestling. I have to talk about wrestling. And it's like, technically I don't. I don't have to just talk about wrestling. I'm much more than that. I'm much more than just a wrestling content creator. I've etched my stone and I've etched this career for myself as a wrestling content creator, and I've almost feel like I've pigeonholed myself into being just that, and I'm not just that. I'm not just that. And I feel like 2025 is my ultimate opportunity to show people that I am not just a wrestling content creator. And quite honestly, I can't continue to only be a wrestling content creator, because if I continue down this road, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to resent wrestling so much that I stop watching it. And I'm going to resent content so much that I might stop that too. And that's unnecessary. Does that make sense to you guys? So, that's what I said. I sat down. I've been thinking about this for several... technically, I've been wanting to do this since the very beginning of the year. But I've only seriously been thinking about it in the last couple months. And I've been talking with family, been talking with close friends, other creators. And that's when I came to the conclusion that in 2025, I am no longer identifying as a wrestling content creator. I will be making wrestling content still, but to a lesser degree. Now, mind you, this year has already been me making content to a lesser degree because I've been burned out. And lesser degree because I want you guys to be ready for that and not caught off guard, which is why this year I've been making less and less and less and less and less. But I haven't been adding anything else in its place. It's just been less wrestling content. So in 2025, I will still be talking about wrestling, but like major shows, like the first Raw on Netflix. Obviously, I'll talk about that. That's a major deal. The Royal Rumble. Love the Rumble. I'll talk about it. I'll review it. If I'm there, I'll do content about it. WrestleMania. Of course, I'll fucking be there. I may even do wrestling content about the build to WrestleMania because of how fucking big that is. So I probably will be doing a lot of wrestling content from January to April. Beyond that point, that's when it's really you're gonna really start seeing less wrestling content after WrestleMania 41, to be honest with you. Because I can't keep doing that. I just can't keep only dedicating myself to just that one thing. I've been doing just that one thing for 10 years. Sooplex is more than just what you see in the background right now. Sooplex loves movies. He loves video games. He loves kayaking. He loves traveling. He loves his cats. He loves so many other things that you guys may not even know about because I don't ever talk about this stuff. On Instagram, I do because I could be more personal over there, but I don't do that on YouTube because I don't feel like that's what you guys came here for. And in some ways, I've convinced myself that you guys may not care about that. You may only care about me talking about wrestling. And I've noticed over the last few months, that's just not true. You guys do care about me talking about this stuff. When I uploaded that Kendrick Lamar, my reaction to that Kendrick Lamar video, I said I wanted to experiment, and I was dead ass. I wanted to experiment. That video was to see how people would react to me uploading something different. Did the video do great? No, it did not. I didn't expect it to do great because it's not what I create. That's not the content I normally create. But when I went to the comments and I saw people saying, oh, I want to see you talk about other things. I want to see you talk about this more. I want to see you do this. I want to see you do that. And it's not wrestling related. Do you guys know how happy that made me? How happy I was to see that you guys want to see me talk about other stuff. I don't think you guys realize it, but it really did make me happy because I realized that, okay, my audience is prepared to see other sides of Sooplex than just this. Because this is me, you know? Wrestling is what I do, but is that all of me? No. And in 2025, I can't and I won't. So, this is really 20 minutes been talking. This is really what we're getting now to the meat and potatoes. In 2025, I will be talking about wrestling mainly when major stuff happens, but for the most part, it will be largely two things. It will be movie content, and it will be pop culture major events happening. I'll be doing reaction videos, I will be doing reviews, I'll be doing talk pieces, rants, all that type of stuff. I'll still be doing shorts and all that stuff, but it'll be evolved around other stuff as well. There's going to be a genuine mix. And I have to tell you guys, because you guys are the ones who are only used to me talking about wrestling. If you're on YouTube and TikTok, if you're on TikTok, you're kind of used to me talking about movies. If you're on Instagram, by now I feel like you're probably already used to me talking about other stuff as well. But you guys are my home base. You guys are my family. And I gotta tell you guys this because I know you guys may not be expecting this. Maybe some of you I think already are, and some of you already figured this out. But yes, I'm breaking out of just being a wrestling content creator, and I'll be talking about other things, mainly movies, and I will also be talking about pop culture and other stuff. Maybe I'll be throwing in some traveling videos because I travel a lot. You guys see me travel a lot on TikTok and Instagram, and even when I go out for wrestling shows, I travel a lot, and I vlog sometimes the food places that I go to, and I never upload the videos because I'm like, damn, I don't think they'll care. They may not like this. It may not do good. And I'm tired of feeling that way. And I'm tired of thinking that way. And I'm changing that mindset in 2025. The name is not changing. Sooplex is my name. And that's not changing. But what Sooplex is changing. I know it's not going to do monster numbers. But I'm just excited to talk about other things. And I know when 2025 comes around, you guys will probably be excited to see me talk about other things too. And don't get me wrong, I am nervous. I am nervous to branch out and do other things because I've been doing one thing for so long that the anxiety in me is like, is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? Will people care? You know, like that those thoughts creep in my head. And I gotta say, you know what? It's gonna work. People gonna watch it. We gonna bring in the bag like we still bringing it now. Gotta keep saying it to myself. So I hope y'all gonna be there with me. I will talk to you guys more soon. Like I said, wrestling content will remain for all 2024. We still got 3 more months left in a year. I'll be here. 2025, I'll be here too. But I'll be talking about more stuff. And I can't wait to see you guys in the comments telling me what else you want me to talk about. All right. This has been Sooplex. Tyler Williams, really. Talk more soon.